Hey everybody, Ray Davenport, your Director of Athletics here. And for those who have been to one of my core classes or trained with me for golf or maybe tennis and have specific goals in mind, you've probably heard me say lateral stability a time or two. Now, what is that and why do we need it? Well, for the majority of you out there, you spend a lot of your time moving forward and backwards. You're not using those lateral muscles as much as, say, a football player or a soccer player, someone who is actively moving side to side. So we've got to work in some strengthening techniques, and I'll go through some of those exercises today that will leave you feeling a little more balanced, right, and stable as you go about your day, whether that's sport or just general life activities. Okay, so stay tuned. Let me know what you think. I'll try to provide some options for just about everyone out there so that you can get some benefit from these exercises. So one of the first exercises I want to go through is the lateral shuffle, and we're going to do it really slow and try to focus on loading into that lead hip, right, as I step across, load, and then pull that foot back into my center point. Now the reason we stay loaded, we want to keep that nice hip hinge in the hip and focus on transferring that weight and staying balanced as we take the step. Now I'm only doing 4 steps in each direction. I would recommend 8 to 12 in each direction, especially before activity, just to make sure those hips are nice and ready to go for whatever it is that you're doing. Now, an advanced variation of that movement to work on hip stability is the skater. So what we're going to do is we're going to create lateral force, lateral momentum, and then balance. Okay, so we're only going to have one foot on the ground at a time. As you get more comfortable, right, maybe you start out slow and low and just taking a little bit wider than normal step, and then work up to creating a little more separation, covering a little bit more ground. Now you'll notice my arms are working as well, but goal is to only have one foot on the ground at a time and feel the inside of the foot pushing off. Again, lower reps on those, 6 to 12 per side, should leave you feeling good, and hopefully you'll see that balance start to get a little bit better. Now the skater is great for creating power and seeing that balance dynamically. Another really great exercise for strengthening through that hip and creating that ground force is the lateral squat. So what we're going to do is we're going to step out, sit down, and then drive back to center. As you get proficient at these, you can start to add in some complexity or even add weight. So a dumbbell, you can just rack up on the shoulder, step out, and drive up. Or you can create that complexity and come up into what we call stork pose. Make sure that you're balanced and hold, okay? Again, 6 to 12 repetitions per side should really help you strengthen those glutes and leave you feeling a little more stabilized. Now, in addition to those standing exercises, there are also a couple that I really love to do on the ground that are going to give you some extra strength and balance and work those hips in a way that maybe you haven't before. The first one I want to show you is an abbreviated side plank, and we're going to work both sides of the hip, both the bottom hip and the top hip, okay? And what we're going to do is bend that bottom leg 90 degrees straight behind you. That top leg, you can either bend to the same. For our purposes, we're going to keep it straight. And then we're just going to press up, making sure that our elbow's right underneath our shoulder and this bottom hip and elbow and heel are all in line. Okay, we're going to lift and hold right here. Now to take it up a notch, all I'm going to do is take this top leg and lift it, okay? Great place to start out is with holds. 20 to 25 seconds is really tough, and you're going to feel that top hip working. Just keep those hips pushed forward. As you become better at these, you can start to go into an active leg lift. My only tip, make sure that you stay within your range of motion. So if you get stuck right there, that's fine. That's probably just a weakness. And what we need to do is focus on our range and not try to, right, go too high or too fast. So keep them slow, controlled, up and down, okay? Now, for those that maybe can't put the force into the shoulder, you can do a grounded version where we're going to kick that hip back. So I'm going to keep this hip flat on the ground. We're going to pull this knee in, and then we're going to kick back and up. Okay, so you're definitely going to feel that hip working. 8 to 15 repetitions on each side will be great for those. Again, just ways you can do this on the ground. The last thing that I want to take you through is a single leg glute bridge. Now these can be incredibly challenging depending on how fast you go. What I want to do right today is show you this variation where we pull our knee in, we drive through the heel of that off foot, making sure that my shin's fairly vertical, and we just lift the hips up. Now the reason we keep this knee in, keeps our pelvis in a really good position. We're not gonna overextend through that low back if we keep our knee right there, okay? So focus in on the glute and drive straight up from the floor. 8 to 12 repetitions, moving nice and slow. So there you have it, a couple of really great hip exercises. If you're struggling with balance, if you need to feel more secure in your forehand or backhand or golf swing, these are going to be wonderful for developing that strength and endurance in the hips. If you have any questions, let me know. Happy to help however I can.